Mr. Moore, would you please call the roll?
Colonel Smith.
Here.
Daniel Gray.
He's here.
Ava Cole.
Here.
Jim Moore here. Ron McDaniel.
Present.
Nina Brockway.
Here.
Martin.
Here.
Laura Walker.
Here.
Everybody's.
You'll join me in as we stand for a moment of silence, followed by the pledge. Mr. McDaniel will lead us in the pledge, and our flag is put away for the summer.
There was one.
Except direction.
All right.
Look at that.
Moment of silence first.
Please join me in the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First thing I have on our agenda is a legal update. I see Mr. Scott Richardson is here to join us.
I don't really have one, but we'll get to visit a little bit later on an employee non-renewal.
Okay.
I guess the only legal update is congratulations on making it through another school year. So,
Thanks for joining us. Any questions for Scott while we get it?
Thank you, Scott. Thank you for all you do for us.
All right, facilities update. See, Russ is here with us. Russ, I think it's your solo tonight.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I don't have much either. We'll be back next month with all of the finish options. So we've gotten a few of them in. I think there's some stuff that y'all are gonna like. The middle school edition did last week. We haven't gotten the final packaged up number from Baldwin and Shell, but they think that it was within the estimate that they had, so that's good. They're gearing up for the summer work, which is the office in the elementary, covering the stairs, the bolts in the safe room, changing those out. So that'll all happen this summer.
Cool. Any questions for Russ on facilities or anything else? All right. Thanks for joining us.
Okay.
Appreciate you. Short and sweet. All right, Dr. Elwood, your report.
We'll try to follow Russ's example and be short and sweet as well. A few things though, hopefully this is our last time at the high school in July, which should be at the Pinewood, the new professional development center. More details on that will come later, but definitely thank you to the staff here at the high school for continuing to host us each month. We also have a donation from Miss Jessica Browning. She's donating her 2002 Mercedes C230 to the Jacksonville High School Automotive Program, and she actually presented the deed to us. Mrs. Biggs was also informed, and so we appreciate the donation, and thank you, Mrs. Martin, for leading her this way. And we'll probably need to take an action item just to accept it officially when time permits. Two last things, we continue to perform the exit surveys for the staff members who are leaving, and not just the district office, but we're sharing those results with the building level leaders as well as the department leaders, so that any adjustments that we need to make, if it was a leadership or just a service or resource issue, we can make sure that we proactively address those, which also lead us to the last thing that I wanted to share with you is the climate and culture surveys. We have completed the classified and the licensed climate and culture surveys with all of our staff throughout the district. Those reports are being compiled. I'm sure those will be with you all in July, but our goal is to utilize June and July and part of August to plan for next year. So if we're not supporting our staff members the way that they need to be supported, we're not providing the professional development and resources, we can proactively plan over the summer to ensure that we start the school year moving forward in the right direction with all of our staff. So we look forward to sharing that information with you and as a team moving forward with that information. That concludes my superintendent.
Very good. Do we want to suspend the rules and vote on that? Start now? Everybody good with that? All right, I entertain a motion that we receive the Mercedes.
I make a motion to receive the Mercedes.
All right.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. Any other discussion or questions? All in
Is
favor?
it drivable?
No.
Oh, with it.
Okay. I was just asking.
Not answer.
It's a great
Project.
It's gonna be a
for parks and parks.
Maybe
Experience.
they can fix it up.
Experience.
Okay, I was just curious.
And it's not gonna sit out in the parking lot. It's gonna be, and it's gonna be good.
I follow what this speaks about that. So,
All in favor? Any opposed? All right. Very much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, consent agenda, we've got the minutes, or you see the consent agenda. Is there anything on the consent agenda that needs to be pulled down for discussion? If not, I'd entertain a motion to approve as presented.
I make a motion to approve as presented.
I got a second. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. We've got an addendum. We've just had our election. Congratulations to all those that were not opposed and re-elected. Welcome back to the board, everyone. We're going to addendum to elect board officers for the next school year. Vote on the addendum and then vote on the officers.
Yes, sir.
All right, so I entertain a motion to add that item on the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Any opposed? That passes unanimously. All right, so every year we have to redo officers, so I'd open it up for nominations for president.
Nominate, Daniel Gray, that's the guy.
All right. Any other nominations? All right.
We love you, Daniel.
All right. All right, vice president.
And I'm gonna Ava Coleman.
Second.
Second.
Okay, second. Any other nominations for vice president? All right, secretary.
I nominate, Jim Moore.
Second.
Any other nominations for secretary? All right, tell me what the title of Ms. Brockway.
Disbursement.
Dispersing officer. Good, dispersing officer. Yeah, any nominations for dispersing officer?
Dina Broadway.
I second that.
Any other nominations for dispersing officer? All right, so I've got Daniel Gray for president, Ava Coleman for vice, Jim Moore for secretary, and Dina Brockway for dispersing officer.
Yay!
Is there a second to that?
Second.
All in favor? Any opposed?
Yay!
Congratulations. Condolences for another year. All right, board meeting schedule 22-23. Does that include July?
Yes, sir.
So I'm sure there's a couple months that we need to talk about, but first is July. We want to push it to July 11th. The 4th is on the Monday. Just want to go the next Monday. Get past the holiday.
And that's the proposed, Erica, Mrs. Logan proposed July 11th to see if that was permissible. You all says the actual board day is a holiday.
Any other conflicts or suggestions on there? Is that good with everybody? Okay.
Mr. Gray, the other change was September 12th. Labor Day.
That's just the forward one there, right? Everybody good with that? Entertain a motion?
I make a motion to approve the said board meeting dates.
Second.
All right, any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes unanimously. All right, Act 1240 waiver.
Yes, sir. Good evening again, board members. We are presenting to you the digital learning plan as it pertains to DESE, the Department of Education. We have to submit a request for approval, and part of that approval process is receiving approval from our local Board of Education. Dr. Picard and Dr. Walker are here for any questions, but what before you is our digital learning plan for students who opt for the virtual learning academy. So, and I will say that we've been working with our co-op and with the department to make sure that we are in line with legislation rules, and that is the most optimal plan for our teachers as well as students. And so we have been, but more so our curriculum instruction team have been working with those entities for the past few months to make sure that we were headed in the right direction. And if you all approve it, then the State Board of Education will hear our case on Thursday. We'll present to them on Thursday.
All right. Any questions?
Did this work out real good this last year?
It did. The team, when we met, we wanted to fine tune it so that we continue to make it better. We want to make sure to ensure that our teachers are not having to teach both in person and virtually. And so this plan that's before you is a plan to make sure that we have dedicated teachers for the Digital Learning Academy. And then we, of course, have our teachers who are in person. And this is the option that parents and students, scholars will have to select. And it's not the option for them to go back and forth. They will have to enroll in the Digital Learning Academy for the FY23 school year. And now if there are extenuating circumstances, we'll definitely hear those, just in the same manner if it was an intra-district transfer. But we wanted to make sure that this option was protected just like the in-person learning. We want to make sure that we do the best we can in providing that instruction.
I know there was some this last year, personally, they were switching back and forth.
And that's the important reason why we're wanting to put this in front of you all now. And then, of course, the State Department, we would have loved to have done it a month or two before now, just so that we can continue to share with our parents, how important it is that our students remain consistent in one of the learning options.
Is there a cutoff of numbers for any of the grades?
Well, virtual. The total cutoff, Dr. Picard, if you could help me with this, but the enrollment per teacher, per classroom is the same as it would be in person. So we would still be in alignment with the state rules that govern us if our scholars were in person.
So if they apply for it, there's no really, no cutoff.
Well, once we max,
Right.
then that's the conversation. Just like if we were max at one of the schools, we would have to have that conversation with the parent about that option not being available.
Okay.
Any other questions? We got a recommendation from Dr. Holloway to approve this.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Alright. Any further discussion?
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. Thank you, sir. All right, next item we've got is the legal transfer request. We've got two transfers here. Dr. Ola is recommending to deny them. We need to separate them.
I would prefer to do them separately, and I would like to share some information. We are using the current forms that the state has given us, and that they've made some changes where we do not have the reason or the rationale as part of the application. Mrs. Logan and I discussed, I think Mr. Moore brought this to our attention, that we could possibly make a district form that we give along with the state form, so parents can provide a rationale so that you all will have that additional information. And I say that not just because it was a great point that Mr. Moore brought, but also because when I talked to the first group of parents, Mr. Taylor, he conveyed the rationale behind the transfer to Cabot. And I wouldn't be the educator or the person or professionally to deny this. They have a valid reason because it's based on the needs of these particular scholars, of services that we do not provide them, and that they're receiving in Cabot now. And so even though the board packet says that I deny it, I do support their transfer based on the needs of these particular students. And that's because of the conversation that I had with the parents. And so I just wanted to make sure that I was clear and transparent with that.
So for request number one, your recommendation is to
allow the transfer.
So let's go ahead and take that up. We've got a recommendation to approve request number one from Jacksonville to Cabot, and there are two students there, I believe. Two students, second grade, seventh grade. So that's the recommendation. Do I hear a motion from the board?
So moved.
Second.
Motion and a second to approve that request. Any other discussion?
Let me ask, don't we have the May 1 deadline for
School choice.
Did they miss this, or did they just not know about it?
They missed it. And that's, you know, a few of them that we've got because they said that they missed it. That deadline is new, and the opening of the application is January 1st, and that also changed this year. And so our plan is to do more awareness of the options for school choice, so that we can hold everyone to those dates.
So neither one of these students have ever attended Jacksonville University?
No, sir.
Okay, that's, okay.
And the way they position where they live, the distance between the schools and this particular school, those particular schools where the students live is the same distance between Jacksonville and Canton. Okay.
So we've got a motion on the floor to approve the transfer for these two students. And a second, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. Second recommendation is still fine. All right, so we've got a motion, a recommendation for request number two for one student from Jacksonville to Bologna. The superintendent's recommendation is to deny. Do I hear a motion from the board?
So moved.
Second.
And a motion to approve the approve the superintendent's recommendation to deny the transfer. Any discussion? I have just a point. I know we talked about, I get the school choice deadline. Is it April 30th or May 1st?
May 1st.
Pretty much the same thing. But this is for next school year in the fall. And the school hasn't started. I think the student's going into kindergarten. So obviously you've never been, or she's never been here, I'm not sure. Again, my philosophy is if they want to be somewhere, let them be there. So, all right, we've got a motion on the floor to approve the denial. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Nay?
Nay.
Nay.
Mr. Moore, let's do roll call. Look,
Okay. Roll call. Daniel Gray,
nay.
David Coleman,
Nay.
Ron McDaniel,
Yay.
Daniel Crawford,
Nay.
Lauren Martin,
Nay.
Laura Walker,
Nay.
and Jim Moore vote yay.
All right, so that motion fails 5-2. So we would need we need a positive motion for this to go forward, so I would entertain a motion to approve the transfer request. If somebody would like to make that motion.
Second.
Laura, Ava seconded. Any other discussion or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
Nay. So I think that was 5-2 in favor of the transfer. Okay. All right. Next item on our agenda, that's the last of the legal transfers. Next item on our agenda is personnel. We have a addendum. Yes. So I would entertain a motion to add the addendum to the personnel agenda.
Motion.
Ms. Martin makes that motion. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Jim has a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so that has been added. So before any, so now we're talking about personnel. Any discussion on personnel will need to be held in executive session. Is there a request to go into executive session?
So moved.
All right, we will move into executive session to discuss personnel. We go ahead and call the meeting back to order at a regular session. We've got a couple of, we've got a personnel list for hires and resignations. All the other good stuff. We have the recommendation from Dr. Owen to approve as presented in the packet and the
We had,
we did that before we went in there.
okay,
Must have taken that.
you talked to me. That's what happened.
We couldn't talk about it if we didn't have. We did.
Okay.
So I'd entertain a motion We've got a recommendation to approve.
I make a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendations.
I second it.
All right. I remember that. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Very good. All right, next item we've got is student disciplinary actions, and I think we have several, all uncontested. And all of those packets are on your device. Let me see if I can get to that.
You need assistance.
Anybody need assistance, please let us know.
I'm not voting, so.
I just want to say that I'm loving the electronic device. I'm loving the electronic device.
So we are reviewing student number 1. Everybody got student number 1 pulled up?
Wait a minute. Gotta go to iPads.
I like these. I need my readers.
Yes, yes. Right.
Thank you.
All right. Maybe I got mine up a little earlier. Sorry.
Make a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation for student number 1.
Second. Got a motion and a second. Everybody good? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. All right, let's move to student number 2. All right. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. All right, student number 3. All right, student number 3, is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to uphold the superintendent's recommendation for expulsion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes. All right, student number 4. Okay. Student number 4.
So moved.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to uphold the superintendent's recommendation for expulsion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes unanimously. Student number 5. All right, student number 5.
So moved. Second.
Motion and a second to uphold the superintendent's recommendation for expulsion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, student number 6.
So moved. Second.
I've got a motion and a second to uphold the superintendent's recommendation for expulsion. Student number 6. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. Student number 7.
So moved.
All right, got a motion to uphold the superintendent's recommendation for expulsion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that passes unanimously. Student number 7. That concludes the student disciplinary packets, expulsions. Next item on our agenda is adjournment. Again,
Motion we adjourn.
we are adjourning the regular meetings. I think we have an employee hearing after this in a different room, so we'll adjourn, we'll take a 5-minute comfort break, and we will go to room 114 for the employee hearing. Okay, thank you.
Pass this one down.
Can I give us back there?